With me is WBRC TV's Sheldon Haygood to talk a little bit about your faith story that you've shared with us. And one of the things that stood out to me was the calling that you and your wife have had for fostering children. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I got to give all the credit really to my wife. You know, she's a kindergarten teacher, has a love for children, and it was something that she's always worked with Royal Family Kids Camp, which deals with fostering kids or adopting kids. And it was one of those things where, you know, the Lord says, help the widows and the orphans. And she came to me one day and she said, hey, I'd like to get into fostering. It was something where I didn't really fully understand what all that happened. So we went to another church.
Okay.
They were talking about the subject, and it was one of their big things on Sunday for their message. And I came away going, yeah, I think this is something that we want to do. So we went through all those, the licensing and stuff like that. It's a big 10 to 12 week process before you finally get licensed where you can foster or even adopt even. And it was just one of those things where we just had a love for children. I couldn't deny Shelby's love for kids, and I wanted them to benefit from her and me. I just go along for the support ride, and it's been an incredible ride for my family, myself, my wife, and our church.
Absolutely, and it's led to the adoption of two children,
right?
It
did, absolutely, after a time, because when you talk about foster, it's about bridging that gap, reunifying families. The kids have no control over what's happening in their lives. And so what we really want is them to have people in their lives that love them and support them. Usually that's the family. So while the family might be going through some issues or being impacted, we try to keep the kids on a stable basis right there, keep their lives as close as they can to having a good time. But eventually, when we saw that they weren't going to be able to get back with their family, it was something that Shelby and I discussed about. We also prayed about and eventually adopted those two boys that keep us on our toes each and every day.
I love it. Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Sideline while we're here. So what would you say is been your favorite part of that over the years? You've been doing it a long time.
Yeah, without a doubt. I love going out to the games. You know, it's one thing to be in studio, but you want to see people. There's a lot of passion. There's a lot of pride when it comes to communities. And so just going to the games, seeing the fans, how much they love their teams. You get to see band members. You get to see the cheerleaders. Yeah, you get to see the players and coaches. But you really get to interact with the fans, and they have a lot of love for that. And of course, every time I walk by, you know what they say? Sideline!
Of course, of course. Well, thank you so much for sharing
your pleasure,
story.
and thank you for putting me on the cover there.
Well, absolutely. Wow. Thank you.
You bet.